Welcome back to Hawkeye Skunk Works, and let's talk about some more Jeep stuff. So last time I left you guys was a while ago. It's been cold and nasty, and it's been the Midwest, obviously. So we were talking about wheels and tires and springs and stuff like that, and a lot has happened. So let's go over here and talk about that real quick before we dig into some stuff that I have laying right down here on the floor. So I apologize to all you Explorer guys out there. I'm representing Ford for the Explorer today on my shirt, but we got to do some work on the Explorer. I know you all have been asking, is the Explorer done? What's the deal with that? Now, as you probably heard before, my wife and I have switched vehicles. She's driving the Explorer. And as far as like the hardcore-ish off-road building stuff, it's done. It's been done for a while. I'll keep up with some maintenance on it, obviously, and some odds and ends and things like that. You probably saw on my Instagram that this week I had to pull off the oil filter adapter plate and replace that gasket, which was a pain in the butt, but it was leaking oil pretty good. So far so good, that's staying dry. But I do have several videos that I need to make with the Explorer, information I think you guys will find useful and helpful and interesting, so we're going to do that. Last time we talked about this, we talked wheels and tires. Now as you can see, the Rubicon wheels are on it with the Duratrack tires. I'm going to get over here and get less of a glare, hopefully. Duratrack 265 70/17 with 1.5-inch wheel spacers on the Rubicon wheels. Extremely happy with how that turned out. No death wobble, balance has been great. And I do have some rubbing issues, which I knew I was going to have, but hopefully we're going to take care of that today with a new part for that. The Upcountry Springs went on. Now, Upcountry Springs were a special part on the Overland edition, and I think some of the other special edition WJs that supposedly provided 1 inch of lift. Now, before I put these springs on, I laid them out next to the factory springs that I took off of this, and they were exactly the same height, 15.25 inches, which didn't know what to think of that. I took them in trade, used from a guy who said that they were Upcountry Springs and that they were in good shape. So I replaced one side, didn't see a lot of difference, replaced the other side, drove it for a day or two, and it actually made a big difference. 1 inch or 2 of lift over the 2.5-inch lift spacers that I already had on it. So apparently my springs were pretty weak. I haven't done the back yet. It's sitting really level right now. I like it a lot. I am going to swap the back ones in, but I think I'm probably going to need to get some rear control arms and an upper A-arm spacer before I do that. Let's hop down here and take a look at some parts. So down here I've got a Core 4x4. Let me shut this door so we can get rid of some of the glare. Nope, didn't make a difference. Core 4x4 heavy duty adjustable track bar, adjustable on this end with flex joint and grease cert. This end poly joint with grease cert. When you lift a solid axle vehicle, the axle is going to want to pull to one side or the other depending on how the track bar is lined up. So you can see this side, tire's pretty level, even with the fender. This side sticking out quite a bit. So the axle has been pulled over with the lift, so it goes over and down. And this adjustable track bar will help push it back over. And should get rid of some of my bumps here. The Addco rear sway bar is for the back. I'm running no sway bar at the moment. Ever since I put the Bilstein shocks on, it rides a little bit softer and smoother, and I definitely am going to need that sway bar. I got some used Zone extended sway bar links, which technically I don't need extended ones with only the 2-inch lift, but I know I'm going to raise the back, so I'm going to throw those on as well. I'm going to put the end link mounts back on the chassis. These are the bushings. They're 1/4-inch bolts, which is bigger than what is on the factory. So bought myself some disposable Harbor Freight 1/4-inch drill bits. We're going to use to drill all that out, get that mounted up, and I'm hoping and thinking that this thing is going to ride a whole lot better, steer a whole lot better, and just generally be a better vehicle on and off-road. So that is where we are at the moment. I'm going to hop underneath here, pull this track bar off, and we'll lay them side by side and take a look. Alright, got track bar out, not too bad. Use lots of PB Blaster. Give your truck a good pressure wash underneath. You do need to turn the steering to the passenger side to get your socket on that top bolt, and you will have to pop out the bump stop, which isn't too bad with the pry bar, and some PB blaster. So this track bar, I believe they offer 3 sizes. Under 3 inches of lift, 3 to 6 inches, and then above 6 inches, I believe. And this is the 3 to 6. Now, when I bought this, I knew I was only 2 to 3-ish, but I knew I wanted to eventually, I want to be at 4. And I figured if I ever need to put this back to stock and sell that sway bar, the 3 to 6 is going to be more desirable because it's got plenty of adjustment. So I'm going to put the wheels back to straight. I'm going to bolt that top bolt in. Actually, I'm going to do the bottom one first, and then I'm going to use a ratchet strap on the chassis and the axle to try to center everything up, adjust that top one, and lock it down, bolt it up, and grease everything together, and hopefully we'll be riding straight and true. We'll take a look after it's in. Okay, so the track bar is in. I'm going to try and show you guys a little bit of what I did. There mounts to the axle, and up here mounts to the chassis. It is an 18 mil on this side and a 15 mil on the other side. You don't have to put anything on the back side. There's a stop on this, and the other side is welded. I got a welded nut. So I have a strap from the chassis to the axle on this side to try and line everything up, and then a strap from the axle to the front over here. I did have a little bit of a problem getting this bolt through that bracket, just because once you took the track bar off, it kind of puts everything a little wonky. But I tried to line everything up the best I could. Let's crawl out and take a look at the tires. So this side is just sticking out a little bit, and this side is sticking out a little bit. I don't know that it's perfect, but I know this is going to need an alignment at some point because it needs tie rod ends. Yeah, steering wheel at the moment is pretty wonky. I'm going to try to adjust the drag length to straighten that steering wheel back up, but like I said, I need new ball joints, or not ball joints, tie rod ends. It had new ones about 3 years ago. They were just cheap parts store brand. I'm going to get Moog ones this time and swap them over, and then I'll take it in to get a full alignment, and then I should be pretty good. The tires still run straight down the road. It's just the geometry of the steering and everything. I want to make sure I don't get any death wobble or bump steer after doing all this. So let's go down there and tighten everything up, grease everything. I think I just saw my steering stabilizer show up, so we'll get that put on as well. Alright, just like that, done. Not too bad of a job. I got everything tightened up, I got everything greased up. Yeah, ball joints definitely on the way out. Grease helped a little bit tighten those up. Just drag length to accommodate the steering wheel. Just kind of measured the threads on both sides till they're equal. And no job is complete unless you break something. I broke this bolt off, so I just ran a different one through there. Other than that, not too bad. Yes, I wrote Moog on there basically so I could remember what it was. Put the black boot back on because I didn't really like the blue one. But other than that, we're gonna I think we're gonna call it quits for this video. So on the next video, I think we'll address the back, that sway bar, and take everything for a test drive. Now I did save the original track bar that was on it because it was only a couple years old. There was nothing wrong with it, and the Rough Country steering stabilizer I saved too, just because. So other than that, I think we're gonna wrap this video up. Thanks a lot for checking us out. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure to subscribe. Really, if you aren't subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you would. YouTube is going to start not promoting videos and YouTubers that have less than 1,000 subscribers, which I don't have 1,000, and I don't know. There's a lot. I watch a lot of smaller channels that do some really informative stuff, and they don't do it as a job like myself, and I think we need to help those out. So if you would, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Head on over to Facebook, like our page there. Head on over to Instagram, that's where I'm most active, and follow along there. You can always email me, hawkeyeskunkworks@gmail.com, or DM me if you have any questions or comments. I do read them all and answer them all. So we'll wrap this video up, and as always, thank you. Have a great night.